Today we will be going from this to this, all using one tool that is completely free. Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Miroslav. I'm a co-founder of Dream Team and the product designer behind Better Block Editor. You often hear that blocks are the future of WordPress, but the WordPress editor still is not a true full-site builder. Not if you care about real, modern, responsive design. If you build actual pages in Gutenberg, you know exactly what I mean. Basic things are missing. There are no usable responsive controls, no hover states, no simple on-scroll animations, and in general, it's hard to build layouts that don't fall apart when you switch to tablet or mobile. That's why we created BB. It's a small plugin that adds all those missing tools directly inside the WordPress editor. So it's not another page builder, it's not trying to replace Gutenberg, and it does not create lock-in. If you deactivate it, your content stays intact. In fact, I believe BB is the only tool you need to transform the WordPress editor into true full-site builder. And it's free, because I don't believe you should pay a subscription just to edit your own website. Now let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's jump into the editor. Okay, so here we have pretty typical page layout. It's header, hero section, about section, all the usual stuff, and it all looks pretty good on desktop. But the moment I switch to tablet, well, you immediately see the problem. For example, header has already fallen apart. This hero section actually looks good, and I can fix the about section. It's built with columns, and this is basically the only block in the WordPress core that has usable stack on mobile setting. But you cannot build your full website using just columns. What if you want to use rows, for example, like here? And what if you want to use grids, like here? As you see down below, these sections already start looking messed up. And if I switch to mobile, well, things are getting even worse. So this is exactly the pain. You build something that looks great on desktop, and then you have to spend hours and hours trying to fix it on tablet and mobile. Now let's activate Better Block Editor and fix this properly. Alright, let's start by fixing the headers. So in header editing interface, I'm going to select the navigation block, and you will notice that we have replaced the mobile option with this responsive one. So I'm going to change breakpoint to custom, and I'm going to set its value to about 1000 pixels. And this is pretty much spot on. While we're here, let's add a hover state to this button. So in button styles, I'm going to locate the hover color panel, and I'm going to change text and background colors. Excellent. Now let's get back to page editor and switch it to tablet view. Okay, now let's fix the about section. So in column settings, I'm going to choose stack on tablet, and I'm also going to reverse the order of columns because this layout just makes more sense. Okay, now to the interesting stuff. You see these numbers here are all getting smooshed. This happens because WordPress will still allow blocks to shrink even if you set their width to some fixed value. That's why we have this prevent shrinking option. So I'm going to enable it here, here, and here. And this already looks much better. All I need to do is to stack this row on tablet. So in row settings, I'm going to locate responsive settings panel. I'm going to change breakpoint to tablet, and I'm going to change the orientation to vertical. So this effectively transforms the row into a stack. Let's continue by fixing this grid. So in grid settings, I'm going to locate responsive settings panel, and I'm going to change the breakpoint to tablet. I will also need to enable this stack on this breakpoint option. Perfect. Now let's fix this big section, and it's actually not that scary. All I need to do is just to stack this row on tablet. For this, I'm locating responsive settings panel. Well, you know the drill already. Breakpoint, tablet, and orientation vertical. I also need to stack this grid on mobile because otherwise it won't fit. So In responsive settings, I'm going to change breakpoint to mobile this time, and I'm going to enable stack on this breakpoint option. And now let's check the preview. Perfect. I probably also want to hide this image on mobile because it takes up too much space. So in block settings, I'm going to locate visibility panel, and I'm going to change the breakpoint to mobile. By the way, you still can see your hidden content in the editor by toggling this button in the top bar. Now let's fix this block section. So I'm going back to tablet view. I'm going to hide this link on tablet. So in visibility, I'm going to change the breakpoint to tablet. And I'm going to stack these posts on tablets. So in post template, in responsive settings, I'm going to change the breakpoint to tablet. And it all looks fixed. Let's check it on mobile. As you may have noticed, I've cheated a bit and configured these postcards and the footer section beforehand, but you get the idea. Okay, while we are still in the editor, I wanted to show how the animation works. So I'm going to choose parent group for the header section, and in animation on scroll panel, I'm going to select fade in animation. I'm going to adjust animation duration and delay. By the way, you can preview your animations in the editor by clicking this button in the top bar. Now let's save the changes and preview our website on the front end, and I'm going to use Polypen Browser for that. As you see, we went from a complete mess to a beautiful, fully responsive website in, just under 5 minutes? I think this is quite impressive. Okay, now you've seen what BB is capable of, and I want to leave you with this. I truly believe that BB can change how we create with modern WordPress. So, if you're serious about building with blocks, with responsiveness, but without the usual headaches, you should definitely be using Better Block Editor. Goodbye for now. I will talk to you soon in the next video.